How was the interview? How did you feel about it?
Yeah, I don't know. It was fine. Fine by me.
Okay.
I could have been
Okay.
better, but maybe.
Okay. So how much would you like to rate out of 10?
7.5.
Okay. That's really cool. Fine. So we'll move to feedback session now. So if I want to start with an introduction, you have given your introduction saying that you worked for some company and you also told like you want to pursue your MBA. So by that, HR will get to know that anyway, you will not stay with us for a longer time. Why will he hire you and why will he train you for 1 month and then why he wants to do all that? So don't try to say that, you want to pursue an MBA, whatever. You might be planning, but don't tell that. About your introduction, you could have elaborated more on that. Since you already have a work experience, you could have added your achievements, which you added at the end. I asked you what are your strengths, only then you said like you are overachiever. You could have told it in the introduction. Yes, you could have told it in the introduction. So that gives a good, introduction. It also speaks so much about you. Since you already have a work experience, you could have elaborated on that, I have overachieved whatever the targets were given. So I did so much. You could have spoken about your strengths. You could have told like I have a good communication skills, which suits this profile. That is the reason I want to be a BDA. Okay. So you could have, the first thing is you are a confident person, clear, and you have very good communication skills, which is very much needed as an BDA or a salesperson. Okay. These two things are very good at you. So if I want to give a feedback on that introduction, you could have elaborated more on your personal subject. What have you studied, which you mentioned. You could have told like what was your past experience, what your past achievements in the job that you did, and what are your strengths. Okay? And then speak about your hobbies. What do you do in free time? Okay. If you give any hobbies, try to connect with the role that you wanted to play. Okay. That is BDA. Okay. Say for example, my hobbies are, spending time interacting with new people. It shows that you love to speak with people. You love to interact with them. Okay. So whatever you do, try to connect with the role that you have applied. Okay. Be it any job. So, and second thing, achievements, hobbies, and you could have told like you have a good communication skills and all that. Okay. So this should be your introduction. And then at the end, you can say, thank you, sir, after ending your introduction. Okay. And yes, I asked you about basic Byjus questions and you told like you don't know, you cannot remember. See, when you're when you're applying for any company, it is always good and it is always a good gesture.
That was my mistake. I agree on that, because if I'm planning, so I should have been aware about it. Yeah.
Yes, you must know, you must always do a basic research on the company. Okay, before your interview at Byjus, please go through the Wikipedia and learn something about it. Okay, who has started it and which year. So the founder is yes, he is Ravindran Byjus. Yes, and co-founder is Divya Gokulnath. It is started in the year 2011. Okay, not in 2005 or anything. App is launched in 2015, but Byjus as a company started in 2011. Clear? So basic information and what is the recent news on that and all you should be knowing. What are all the companies that they have acquired? Recently, they have acquired Akash during COVID time. Clear? So White Hat Junior. So these basic things you should be knowing. Okay. Before you go to any company, having a good idea or basic idea about it always add a good impression on you. Okay. You are saying that, you want to be at Byjus for a longer time. When you don't know the basic questions of Byjus, you don't even know in which year it started. So it's
my bad. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Always have a good idea about the company. Clear? And secondly, I asked you sales questions. Clear? I asked you that convince me to buy a red t-shirt where I want to purchase yellow t-shirt. Okay. You could have started by greeting me and asking my requirement. Okay. So you did it. Okay. You could have convinced me in a better way. Okay. But otherwise in that question, you did really well. Apart from that, you could see any questions is given, always try to greet them. First thing is, hi, how are you, ma'am? So how are you doing?
Yeah. So actually I was thinking like kind of it was unofficial, no? So that's why I did not ask
No, that is official way.
I knew somewhere in my mind, right? So when we were doing that calling thing, I was like, hi, how are you? I asked it in different times. In different questions, like I might have skipped in that question, I skipped it.
Yeah, because but try to, yes. In every question, you must add it. In every question, the customer is different to you. Okay, you might be given different scenarios. You might be a single person, but your customers are varying with different scenarios, right? You have to greet everyone. You cannot greet one and you can skip the other. So to whom you have skipped, he might be a potential customer to you. Who knows, right? Always greet everyone. So in that case, that part you should remember properly, that you should greet them and ask the requirement properly. Okay, you said like we are giving it at some 50% discount and all, and you could have created some urgency as well. Okay, ma'am, just don't think about this month February. You can wear this in other occasions, right? Yeah, and that you could have added. I was always told, each time I told like I'll be with this month, I'll be with surrounded with my friends, they'll be charging me. I was talking only about this month. You could have spoken about other months as well. So right, so that you can do, and you can create an urgency, right? Since this month is a February month, we are we are giving it a higher discount. Yeah, we are giving you the higher discount. You cannot purchase this product after this month. You have to wait for the next year to come. So what do? You can wear it on some parties, and you could have added those points, right? Always create an urgency. So if I reject that, I have plenty of that. Create an urgency that this product will be there for only this period, this much of period. Okay, so you can do that. And then I asked you about Kashmir. I'll be in Kashmir. Then you could have asked me, but in that your repo was quite good. Okay, you asked me like, are you looking for since it is a December month, I know it is a cool. You are looking for a heater. I also told I need a heater, right? And your approach was good. That you told like you purchase an AC with the same amount of heater. Like you want to purchase an heater, then you have to spend 15,000. Buy a AC where you can use it as an AC in future, and then you said that, but you could have elaborated more on AC. Okay, saying what are the features of an AC, right? So like if you have an humidity, it maintains in humidity. It also balances the temperature. Say for example, like minus 10 degrees there, like you can set our AC to 23-degree room temperature. You can do it, and that's how you could have managed it. But you did not mention anything related to the features of an AC. Okay, always mention when such questions are asked. Explain pitch a product by saying its features. So that is how we are creating a need, right? I was telling you that I need an heater. Why will I take an AC? Which is just heating part is just a small part of it. AC job is not to heat all the time. Its job is to cool the air. But as a small thing, it is doing half of the job. But when I'm looking for completely for a heater, why can how can you speak about AC? When you're speaking about AC, then you have to pitch by creating a need. How do you create a need? By speaking so much about the product, right? So explain it properly, how it can help in asthma, like generally when we use an AC, I mean in a normal time in a winter season, so humidity will be huge, and then it might pollute a hair. So in the AC where you can it does not pollute the air, fresh air comes, and you can get rid of asthma if you have any such. Okay, you can pitch the product this way as well. But otherwise you tried quite well, but work on the features as well. Okay. So and always try to create a urgency overcall. Okay, so that you could have done. So next about academics, how you did your academics, right? Yeah, I asked you why. Yeah, you should not say that I'm weak in science. So you shouldn't say this, okay? Because you are trying to, you want to become a BD at Byjus, which means you should be good at academics as well, because you will be asking questions to students. So to ask questions, you must know what the answer, right? So you cannot simply say that, like, I just don't know, I just did it in small, whatever. If you doesn't know any answer, say politely that, sir, I have read all these things in my schooling. I have forgotten, but if you give me a chance, I'll brush through that. I'll ensure that when I go to a parent house, I'll ensure that I answer whatever the question they ask me. And I ensure that I won't bring the company name down, because I know I represent Byjus. So that I ensure that they won't judge the company based on my academics. Okay, I'll brush up my knowledge. So you can say this. Okay. So never ever say I'm weak in science from the schooling and I can't do this. Don't do that. Okay. In each and every question, you have to say that you have to showcase that you're an optimistic person, ready to learn anything, ready to, flexible person, quick learner. You have to show these qualities, right? So this is what HR looks in every candidate. You cannot say, I can't do this. I am not this person. You cannot say this. Sir, I understand that this is a mistake I have done. So I'll work on this. I'll learn. These are the things you should be telling. Please work on academics where you did not answer most of the question. I asked you why ice floats on water. You said because it is heavier. That's why it floats. So the denser will sink in, right? You said the reverse, right? Since it is heavy, having high, weight, it sinks. It doesn't float. If it is light only, then
I just did not want to go speechless. I just had to answer. So, bhale wrong answer. So that's why the mixed emotion.
When you know the answer is wrong, don't give answer in that much confidence. Then they think like this girl is not serious at all, right? If you doesn't know anything, confess it that I don't know, I'll work on it, I'll read it back. After knowing that you are wrong, there's no point in proving it, right? Don't do that. If you know confidently, when you know it properly, only then speak out. Then you can say that I don't know. Okay, I asked you twice. According to you, heavier material will float, which means I gave you a chance to think again. But again, you told confidently that, which means what I can assume that this girl doesn't know anything but speaks confidently. So it creates a bad impression. It's that actually a good thing to, speak whatever you know confidently, but not at the cost of judging you, right? So don't do that. Okay. So, and I asked you Newton's second law, you said Newton's third law. Okay, we will give you premium notes. Please go through it where we have a basic concepts. I asked you, basic academics questions. I asked you, what is the color of a sun? You said blue, it is white color. Okay. So the answer to the question that I asked, why ice floats? Because when the ice freezes, so molecules will expand. The volume of an ice will increase compared to water. Then it becomes lighter. That is the reason it floats. Okay. So molecule will spread when it freezes, then it becomes lightweight compared to water. Then, which means the volume of ice cube will be higher compared to water. That's the reason it floats, right? So you can answer that way. And these are the academic questions. If you doesn't know, if you cannot answer when in Byjus interview, you can say that, sir, I'll work on this. Okay. If you give me a chance, I'll brush off my knowledge. I'll ensure that I won't bring the company name down in front of parents. I'll work on it. Okay. There should be an approach. So about BDA questions, always greet the parents. Okay. And secondly, always ask what is from my side. Don't assume that, when I asked you that my child is scoring 98% and now convince me to buy Byjus product, always ask in which grade he is in. Is he going to, is he going to any tuitions? Okay, how is he doing at studies? Who is taking care of his studies? You or his father or mother, grandfather, who is taking care of his studies? So because of COVID, is he attending online classes or is he going to physically? So these things will matter. So these will give you information so that you can speak so much about his education, right? So without asking any basic questions, you cannot pitch a product. Directly, you can't call anyone and start speaking about Byjus. They will disconnect your call. So what you have to do, you have to greet them first, and then you have to rapport building. How do you build a rapport? By asking few questions, right? What are you doing? What is your occupation? If they tell your occupation, then you will understand, okay, if they have money, I can pitch a product. If they doesn't have money, then you have to work a little bit harder, right? You will get some idea about their family background as well. If you, ask them, is he going to tuitions? If the parents say no, then he's a potential customer because he needs someone to tutor him, right? So then you can pitch accordingly. Clear? So based on this, and you should also ask like who is taking care. So if I say that both of us are working professionals, nobody is there at home to look after his education, and then it is again a potential customer, right? So where you can create a need by saying, since if you don't focus on your child, we are there to take care of that. We will give you personalized care to your child in education. That's how you can speak about the product even if you doesn't know anything about the product, right? So you did nothing. So you just directly started speaking about the product. Don't do that. Okay. Always build a rapport, create a need. How do you create a need? Based on the information that you get during the rapport, and that you have to create a need. Clear? So that you did. And I asked you, my child is trained by 2 IITians, right? So even in that questions, I told already that, whatever my child needs, he's already getting. He's already enrolled in Vedantu. And I said, like, we don't want to burden him with, a lot of materials and all. You could have, you should convince me in those cases by knowing so much about the Byjus product. So in most of the questions, you did not speak anything related to the Byjus product. Your points were mostly generic. Okay. They're not specific to Byjus. I asked you, my child is in 5th standard and he's scoring well. Whatever the points that you spoke about Byjus were mostly incorrect. Okay, you said like we are providing English course. Byjus is not providing that course. Don't give false commitment to parents. Okay, whatever you speak, they'll stick to it.
English course as in have specific courses, right?
No, I don't think so. There is a English course. They have a course for Disney for K3 category. K10 category is a normal curriculum. That too, science and mathematics. They don't provide even the civics courses in testing. Okay, they are not giving even civics course full-fledged. Maybe they are giving it for the free of cost since it is in a testing mode. Even they are not providing for the social sciences and all. They have only for 9th and 7th and 8th, I guess. For 10th, 9th, they don't provide. Okay, so you cannot pitch in a wrong way, and you cannot say that your students will be taken to field. So where will they take students to field? So like if you doesn't know about it, don't speak about it. Okay, it creates a bad impression on you in front of the HR. If he doesn't know anything about Byjus, like say before you go to any interview, it is better to have a basic idea about it.
Yeah, I was not really prepared. That was my bad. So I was just trying to, basically I was trying to say how will I represent myself even if given any situation. I know most of the informations were wrong, but I just wanted to present it well at least.
Your presentation,
my main focus was like my presentation, how is my presentation skills going on, so that I can know. See, because it's real, if I'm going anywhere, I'll definitely research about it. I barely had any idea. You can assume now that I actually do not know anything about it. Yeah,
but it's okay. Why I'm telling you is that when in Byjus, the HR will give you scenarios. Now pitch me this product. If you tell me like English courses there, we will take the students to field and we have a lab testing and all. So you will ask me, why are you giving false commitment to parents? Because they call back and they ask for the refund. How will you handle the situation? Right? Again create a stress. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, yes. Right? HR will throw these questions and they judge you in every point that you speak. Okay, be clear. And I understand that you didn't do any research for this interview, you just gave a normal interview. But otherwise about Byjus product, your convincing skills are quite good and your communication skills are exceptionally good and you have a very good convincing skills. So only thing what you have to add is you have to create a rapport building, greeting and need generation and creating an urgencies. These are the things that you should have. Okay, and proper knowledge about the product. If you doesn't know anything about the product, you cannot speak on that. I asked you, I have an issue.
The reason I gave 7.5 to myself because I did not have any knowledge and also the academics part. I'm ashamed. Yes. I should study, I feel like.
Yes. See, you can sail through in some of the questions if you know the product. I asked you, I'm concerned about his eyesight. You could have told me that, our product is designed in such a way that it is not affects your eyesight. If you had known this, you could have just told and you could have convinced me on that part.
I thank God you reminded me because that was the only question I was speechless. Like all of the questions I at least answered this way. I was like, shit up is what point I could have used. So what could I have used in this part?
You could have told just like, when I asked you, I'm concerned about the eyesight, then you have to say that, ma'am, we have designed a product in such a way that it does not affect his size because we are also concerned about the children because we mostly deal with the students, right? While designing a product, we have designed in such a way that it does not, radiate any harmful rays. So it does not affect. And I asked you that, and I asked you one more question that I don't want to burden my child with a lot of study materials because he's already enrolled in Vedantu and he is also trained with 2 IITians. When such scenario is given, you have to say that, ma'am, he doesn't need to spend so much time just like he is spending with other. Like he has to watch few videos. Based on that, test will be given. So once he gets a conceptual clarity, he don't need to study a lot of study materials. Okay, anyway, we are providing. Okay, you have to say in such a way that we are reducing his burden. Okay, we are not increasing his burden because we have a 3D animated videos where instead of studying for 1 hour, he can watch a video of 10 minutes and get a knowledge of what he can get by reading for 1 hour. Okay,
that is how we have. That's why I did not really wanted to speak. I had no idea how actually it worked, so that's why I did not really initiate.
Yeah, you can see if you know the product, then you can convince.
Yeah, it would be totally different if even if I had the basic idea about Byjus, like how its systems actually work. I just assumed about how my online classes works, so that's how I pitched it.
Yeah. So like if you know about the product, only then you can convince in a very good way, or else you have to, beat around the bush just the way you did. Okay. Before you go for any interview, ensure that you know something about the product. Okay. Otherwise you did really well. So in these scenario based questions, you have to tackle in that way by speaking about the product. How I asked you like 5 USPs of Byjus. You repeated the concept. Like we have our best teachers and IITians, like you repeated the same thing. Don't do that. Before that, do proper research. Like you can say we have a knowledge graph where after watching every video, so we will conduct a test. So based on the performance, we will tell you like where he's lagging and where he's good. Say for example, we have a like we use it in the indicators like green, yellow, and red. If it is indicated in red, Ashita, can you hear me? Yes.
Yeah, I can hear you, but your video is paused.
Okay, now am I audible and visible?
Yeah. It's fine now.
Yes.
Yeah. Can I ask some questions? Like,
yes, continue.
So my question is, without Byju's point of view, without suppose I'm just with a normal interview, that's where I want to like what was my weaknesses. Weaknesses as in ki what was bad about it. Without Byju's point of view, let's just assume it's a normal interview, and except for the Byju's research part. Yeah.
Okay. Apart from Byjus, apart from lack of research that you made in Byjus, I can tell you that you have a good convincing skills, but you have to add few points like you have to greet firstly, and then you have to create a repo. So why do you need to create a repo? Means you will get a information.
You're not audible.
Oh my god.
Greeting repo.
Yes.
Okay.
See, repo is important because just a second, I have internet issue.
You're not audible.
Just a second.
Yeah, can you just leave and join again, maybe?
Yeah.
Jyoti, your internet connection is good. I think Harshita, you are facing some network issue.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Yes, yes. Because his voice is clear.
I can't hear her.
Okay.
I can hear you really well.
Okay, Harshita, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. See, otherwise,
so greetings,
repo, need generation, and urgency. Okay. So repo is important.
Urgency.
Yes. Repo is important so that you will get a maximum amount of information about the customer. Then you
so
can
that I could connect with the person, so he trusts me. I get that.
Then you can create a need generation can happen. Okay, based on the points that he speaks. And then speaking about the urgency, like this offers is only for this period, and we are selling this product on higher discount because of so and so reasons. And if you cannot purchase now, you have to pay huge amount in future, like say next month. So you have to speak on that. Okay. So otherwise you are a confident person and your language is very good. You have a good convincing skills, but you shouldn't go on high with the parents. Okay. So when I asked you, the first question that I asked you in sales, in BDA, that I'm happy with whatever he's doing because he's a child, I want him to enjoy his life. And you are like, you are like overthrowing my opinion. Like, how will you, like anyway, he has to go through the pressure. Don't do that. Always appreciate what the parents is saying. Okay. I'm happy that you're concerned about your child's happiness because in this competitive world, parents always look for the higher marks. They always pressurize with a lot of study materials and homework, and they always want their child to study maximum of the time. They don't want to enjoy their childhood, but you're concerned about your child's happiness. That I appreciate you for that. Now, rarely people can have such a quality. You have to appreciate it. Okay. So don't try to, prove that they are wrong. Your job is not to prove that they are wrong. So accept that whatever their opinion and converting their opinion into need generation. Okay. So whatever they say, you have to accept because they are the person who pays you back, right? If you say on page that, they say like, what, this girl is so rude. So they don't change your opinion just because of you. You are at the end, you are just a BDA, right? You have to accept the fact and you should accept that they are your customer. Okay. Whatever their opinion is, you should respect it and appreciate it. Okay. You cannot, you can cross question wherever needed, but you cannot change the parents' opinion at one go, right? You should accept it. Okay.
Yeah.
So and otherwise it was good. You did well. Yeah.
Okay.
And before you go to any company, do basic research on that. Go through Wikipedia once, and then download the Byjus application, register yourself, watch few videos. You will get good idea how to pitch a product. Okay. You will know what is 3D animation, what is real-time example, and you don't need to bluff. Okay. So you don't get that opportunity to bluff. You can speak the truth, and then you will be more confident when you speak truth, right? Yeah. So otherwise, when I asked you signing a bond, you did well. You managed it. I gave you priority. I give you 3 parameters to arrange according to your priority. You did well, but always try to keep growth and money as your priority. See, it's again a perception. Okay, it's based on the HR how he thinks. Okay, but always speak truth. Okay, don't need to bluff and no need to beat around the bush. Speak to the point. If you feel like you are good at, I'll manage a career, and I also need a growth. I don't need a money, and give a reason properly why you are putting money at the end. Okay, nothing wrong in that. Okay, so otherwise it was good interview. When I asked you about 3 weaknesses, you did not mention anything.
The time when you asked me the parameters, so you mean that I would have explained it myself? Like your question was only about the parameter, but your point is that you explain bhi kar de. I should have explained, right?
Yes, explain them why
I chose it without them asking.
Yes, if they don't ask, it's okay. But sometimes they judge you based on the parameters. Like BDA is a role where they really want people who are looking for money. Okay, because I have given a couple of interviews at Byjus. They test you to the core. They want you to know why you really want to be a BDA. Okay, not for the sake of time pass, or not for the sake of the salary is huge. If you are coming for the salary, are you really coming for the salary? That is what they are checking. Nothing bad in saying that I am here for money. So they will welcome you with more happiness, because they need people who are actually for money. Because in BDA, money is the only thing which motivates you, nothing else. Okay, so who wants to be in that hectic role, right? So just if money is your last priority, explain it properly that why it is last priority, because they judge you to the core based on that only. Okay, they really want to know why you want to be a BDA. After all, you already worked in such a good company and you have all the good qualities, and why you want to be a BDA. They really want to know the real reason. They may ask you, they can cross question to whatever the level they want. So ensure that give the right reason. Okay, so otherwise it was good. You did really well. Yes.